बेसरवारी राधे,
बेसरवारी राधे,
नथ बेसरवारी राधे,
बेसरवारी राधे,
कर कंकण वारी राधे,
कंकणवारी राधे,
कटि किनकिनी वारी राधे,
वारी राधे।
जय राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय राधे 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 राधे, हो राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे,
राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे,
ओ जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय जय श्री राधे,
जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय राधे 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 राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे,
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 ओ जय 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 श्री राधे,
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 राधे राधे राधे, जय जय
राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे,
राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे,
राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय 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 श्री राधे,
जय 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 श्री राधे।
बोलो श्री राशेश्वरी राधा महारानी की
Radhe Radhe, thank you so much for joining us on this joyous occasion. I want to tell you the schedule for today. So we'll be starting with the speech by Swami Nikhilanand Ji, and then after that we're going to have a Leela, so please stay. And then after that is Aarti and Charan Darshan, and then we have lunch Mahaprasad for everyone. So please stay to the end, and if you could turn off your phones and pay attention, that would be great. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, on behalf of Radha Madhav Dham, I welcome you all for this auspicious occasion of Radha Rani YATRA. We are very fortunate to have Swami Nikhilanand Ji here giving us a pravachan, and let me give a brief intro of him. Swami Nikhilanand Ji was born in Canada, and I was attracted to the teachings of Hinduism from a very young age. Living at Radha Madhav Dham, which is the main ashram of Jagadguru Kripalu Parishad in the West, Swamiji learned the philosophy of our prime scripture under the guidance of Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Maharaj, who, as we all know, is the fifth original Jagadguru. Swami Nikhilanand Ji became a sanyasi preacher in the year 2003, and since then he has been traveling throughout the east and west coast of United States, giving lecture series and conducting devotional retreats. His lecture reveals the deepest aspects of the philosophy as described in our sacred Hindu scriptures, and his practical teaching, coupled with the inspired chanting of Sanskrit shloka and Nam Sankirtan, are helping common people to awaken their innermost spiritual potential, deepen their bhakti to God, and fill their hearts with the love for Radha Krishna. I request all of you to please listen to his discourse very attentively and kindly switch off your cell phone. And now, as a token of our respect for Swami Nikhilanand Ji, I request Nathan DeMichel to please offer a garland.
श्री राशेश्वरी राधा रानी की ध्यान मूलम गुरोर्मूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदम् अहो वकीयं स्तनकालकूटम् जिघांसयापा ययदप्यसाध्वी लेभे गतिं धात्र्युचितां ततोऽन्यम् कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम वन्दे बरसानानन्दां रंगीली महलवासिनी राधिकां परमां शुद्धां लादिनीं शक्तिरूपिणीं रसोऽयः परानन्द एक एव द्विधा सदा राधा कृष्ण रूपाभ्याम् तस्मै नमो janati purvam yo vai vedanscha prahinoti tasmai tagvangha devamatma buddhi prakasham mumukshurvam sharanamaham prapadye. Dear devotees of Radha Rani, we're so fortunate to be gathered here today and to be receiving the grace of Shri Rasheswari Radha Rani and Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Maharaj on this auspicious occasion of Radha Rani RATH YATRA. We all had our own feelings and experience during the RATH YATRA. And that's something that we were each individually blessed with by Radha herself. And it's something that each of us will remember. On the path of devotion, Raga Nuga Bhakti, this type of experience, like many of you would have had today, some kind of feeling like you had before, but possibly more, depending on your sanskars today. Don't feel badly if you're thinking, I didn't feel anything. Last year I felt something. It's okay, sanskars also go up and down. But in general, on these types of occasions, devotees may have some extra feelings of devotion, deeper feelings, maybe surprising feelings of love for Radharani, Krishna, Guruji. This is why such occasions are organized. Because for many, many people, the devotional atmosphere leads to such experiences. Although Guru's grace is with us 24 hours a day, Radharani is gracing us 24 hours a day, but our heart opens up more when we're put in such an environment. So we say there's a special grace today. Their special grace is always upon us. What's special today is our ability to open up to the grace. The more we practice devotion, the more we follow the instructions of Shri Kripalu Maharaj for how to do daily bhakti, the more our heart purifies. And the experience you may have had today or in some similar event recently, that will eventually become your baseline, your normal experience. The joy you feel on an occasion like today, eventually, if you're making progress, that becomes your normal everyday experience of devotion. So somebody asks you, how are you? What will you say? You know, they're not having as good a day as you are. Why? Because you've been purifying your heart and now you're experiencing Guruji's grace at that level. That the first time you felt it, you were feeling like, oh, this is amazing. And now that's every day for you. And now when the amazing comes, it's much, much more than that. This is how we progress on the path of devotion. Yatha yathatma parimrijyate sau mat punyagatha shravanabhidhanai tatha tatha pashyati vastu sukshmam chakshuryathaivanjana samprayuktam. In the Bhagavatam, Shri Krishna is telling Uddhav that the more one engrosses their mind in his leelas, his name, doing Rup Dhyan, meditating on his forms, The more one does that, the more their mind purifies. And the more the mind purifies, the more the experience of Radha Krishna's direct presence with you becomes more and more clear and more real. We just did parikrama of the grounds of Radha Madhav Dham. We know that Radha Rani is everywhere. Every tree is saying Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. Every particle of the earth. Radha Rani is omnipresent. However, our sadhana is to remember that. On a day like today, it's easier, right? We're surrounded by so many people who are in that consciousness. The kirtan is elevating our thoughts of Radha. We feel her presence. But she's always with us in that same way, the same way we felt today. And if we want to feel her presence in that way all the time, then we simply have to do one thing. Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Maharaj distilled the whole devotional practice down to one thing. He said, just do this, Radhe breathing. Just like the trees are doing Radhe breathing, the grass blowing in the wind is doing Radhe breathing, we also have to do Radhe breathing. Without even saying anything out loud, when you inhale, you say Ra. When you exhale, you say Dhe. Then you're always having Rath Yatra. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, you're walking from here to the dining hall. You're having Rath Yatra. Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. You're walking to school in the morning. You're walking from one class to the next. You're having Rath Yatra. Nobody else has to know it. Why are you smiling? No reason. I didn't know I was smiling. Because you're having Rath Yatra. This grace, you see, there's Radha Rani's grace and there's Radha Rani's grace through the Guru. We're going to be blessed to watch a very special Leela in a few minutes. This Leela shows the Guru-disciple relationship. How even such a simple thing as taking God's name like this, Shwas Shwas se jap karna. No soul can realize that on their own, that this is what I have to do. And they need the catalyst of the Guru's grace. When Guru tells you to do it, then the grace is already imbued in that instruction. Therefore, if you follow the instruction, you automatically get the devotional results. Just like Sage Valmiki, when he was instructed by Narad Ji, repeat Mara, 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 Mara. We heard from Siddheshwari Didi. She was describing this a couple of days ago. She told us that it's not because he was saying Mara, 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 and it also becomes Ram, Ram, Ram. No, it's because he was following Guru's instructions. And because he followed the Guru's instructions so well, his Guru's grace was able to purify his heart. Even though his heart initially was so impure that he couldn't say Ram's name, but through following Guru's instructions, he became God realized. He wrote Ramayana before Ram Avatar. Similarly, Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Maharaj has given all of us this instruction. Just breathe Radhe, Radhe, and always feel Radha Rani is with you. So if we follow this simple instruction, we'll be just like Valmiki. No difference. We got the instruction, we trusted our Guru, and now we're getting the results. Now our heart is getting purified. So that Radha Rani, who is even worshipped by Shri Krishna, as we heard so beautifully described in yesterday's lecture by Banshri Didi, Radharani's status is so great that even Supreme Brahm, Shri Krishna, worships her. And yet, she's not holding herself above us. The moment a soul accepts her in their heart, Radharani comes running to that soul, leaving her divine abode, leaving Krishna, and comes running to that soul. In Vedas, there's a question. Kah paramo deva, kasyan mrityur vibheti, kasya jnanena khilam sarvagvam bhavati. Gopal Purvatapani Upanishad asks the question, who is Supreme Brahm? God has so many forms. Who is the Supreme? And the same section of Ved gives the answer. Krishno Havai Paramam Daivatam. Shri Krishna is the Param Dev. He is Supreme God. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. The Bhagavatam tells us that all of God's forms can be categorized in three ways: Brahm, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Brahm is none other than Shri Krishna with almost all of his powers dormant. Then he's formless, virtueless, actionless, nirguna, nirakar, nirvishesh, Brahm. The same Shri Krishna, when some of his powers are active, then whereas as nirakar Brahm, he has no nam, roop, lila, guna, dham, jan, as we call Paramatma, the almighty forms of God like Vishnu, he has nam, roop, guna, dham, because some of his powers are active, so his name is revealed, his form is manifested. Many of his virtues are manifested outwardly, but there's still something that is avyakt, that is his divine love. Thus, as Bhagavan, Shri Krishna, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, Vedavyasji tells us in the Bhagavatam. Shri Krishna is Bhagavan, where he himself is revealing himself fully. When he is revealing himself partially, he is Vishnu and other affiliated almighty forms. When he is not revealing any powers or almost no power, Alpavyakta Shaktik Brahm, it's the same Shri Krishna, but he's not revealing himself. But when he is in his form as Krishna with the peacock feather and the flute, he's revealing himself in full. That Bhagwan Shri Krishna has unlimited powers. However, although all those powers are subserviently established within him, there's one power that reigns supreme even over Sarvashaktiman Bhagwan Shri Krishna. That is that power of divine love that I referenced a moment ago. Prem. Krishner Ananta Shakti Tate Tin Pradhan Chit Shakti Maya Shakti Jeev Shakti Nam Antaranga Bahiranga Tatastha Kahi Jare Antaranga Swarupa Shakti Savar Upare. Sat Chit Anandamaya Krishner Swarup Ataeva Swarupa Shakti Hoye Tin Roop Anandanshe Hladini Sadanshe Sandhini Chidanshe Samvit Jare Jnana Karimani. Hladini Sar Anchatar Premanam Premera Paramasar Mahabhavajani Sei Mahabhav Rupa Radha Thakurani. All of this was explained in yesterday's lecture. I'm just briefly recapping that The essence of that divine love power, this is all explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita in the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ji. That divine love power is so great that it makes even Shri Krishna forget he's God. And that divine love power has an essence called Mahabhav. And Mahabhav has a personified absolute origin and supreme quintessence. That is Radha. Madanakhya Mahabhav, Radha Rani. She is the personified origin of the divine love power. The quintessence in personal form of Prema Shakti. That is Radha Rani, whose Rath Yatra we were doing today, and in whose mandir we are sitting, Shri Rasheswari Radha Rani Mandir. We are so lucky to be a part of Radha Rani's Darbar here at Radha Madhav Dham. Even Shri Krishna, because she is the absolute essence of the divine love power that keeps Shri Krishna under its bondage. Aho chitram vande tat prema bandhanam yad baddham muktidam muktam brahma krida bhrigi kritam. Shri Krishna becomes a slave to any soul who attains that divine love power. Such is the greatness. That is why even a soul can tie up Supreme Brahm, just like Maya tied up Lala. Gopis can make Supreme Brahm, Shri Krishna, dance. He forgets his gyan, he forgets his Aishwarya, and he behaves as an innocent child, due to the effect of that divine love power, and that originates from Radharani. And Radharani being the absolute ultimate limit of Mahabhav, where even Shri Krishna can't reach, where his mind drowns when he tries to fathom the depth of Radha's beauty and Radha's love. Even though Ye yam Radha yashcha Krishno rasabdhir dehe naikah kridanartham dvidha bhoot. Radhikopanishad says Radha Krishna are one, they're not two. They appear in two forms, but they are one. Nonetheless, Krishnena aradhyate iti Radha. Shri Krishna worships his soul Radharani for the reasons I just explained. Some great Jnani Mahapurushas were wondering about something. They had a question in their mind and they expressed it. Brahmavadino vadanti kasmad radhikam upasate adityo bhyadravat. They were wondering, why is Radha worshipped above all? I mean, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Uma, Durga, Kali. Why is Radha worshipped above everyone? These Brahmagyanis were wondering. And as they wondered, Shruti in personal form appeared to answer their question. And they gave a long answer. One of the explanations was that Radha is the very soul of Shri Krishna. Jagad bhartur vishvasammohanasya Shri Krishna pranatodhikamapi. They're saying that Radha, being the essence of the divine love power, is the very soul of Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna, yasya renum padayor, yasya anke vilunthan, Krishna deva naiva sasmara golokakhyam. Sancha Kamala Shailaputri Tam Radhikam Shaktidhatrim Namamah. Ved goes on to explain that Shri Krishna, he puts Radharani's foot dust on his head. He looks for any chance to do seva to Radharani's divine charan, whose darshan we are going to be having, and whose pujan we are going to have the opportunity to do. When Shri Krishna lays his head in the lap of Radharani, he forgets the greatness of his divine abode, Golok. Naiva sasmara dham padam. He forgets his own dham, Golok Dham. Why? Because he's drowned in the love of Radharani. Others like Kamala, Lakshmi, Shailaputri, Durga, they are ansh of Radharani. They are a manifestation of her own power. Therefore, Vedas say, we bow down to Radharani. And Shri Krishna, when he wants to do ras, although he himself, raso vaisah, Taittiriya Upanishad says Shri Krishna himself is ras, he himself is divine bliss. And ras, rasanam samuha rasa. Vedas tell us that ras is the amalgamation, the collection, the combined ras of all the different types of divine bliss is revealed in the Ras Leela of Radha Krishna. And when uncountable gopis take part in Ras Leela, that is called Maharas. And when Shri Krishna, Supreme God, wishes to do this Maharas Leela, he wishes to reveal this bliss of Maharas on the earth planet, he has to take permission of Radharani. Bhagavan apitaratri sharadot phulla mallika vikshirantum manaschakre yogamayam upashrita. He takes the shelter, he surrenders to his yogamaya shakti, Radharani. When Radharani gives permission, when Radharani does kripa, then Shri Krishna plays on his flute and announces the beginning of Maharas. This is why Radharani is also called Rasheswari. She is the Ishwari, the controller, the initiator, the underlying power and grace of Ras Leela. So she is called Rasheswari Radha Rani. This is why this mandir is named after her. And when we get to see the Leela, we're going to hear this Maharas mentioned. So I want you to understand what is this Maharas. We'll also get to see something special about that. So on this day, we've had the opportunity to do Rath Yatra, feel Radharani's presence. I explained to you that if we want to always feel Radharani's presence in a greater and greater way every day, we only have to practice Radhe breathing as instructed by Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Maharaj. In a little bit, we're going to have darshan of Radharani's divine charan, which we only get to do once in a year. During this Radharani Rath Yatra time, we have darshan of Radharani's charan in the shrine, and we get to offer flower petals at her lotus feet. And we also want to keep in mind that this human life is the only opportunity to attain that joy of which I spoke. Devotional joy in life, and the ultimate attainment of meeting Radharani, meeting Radha Krishna face to face and experiencing their infinite love and unlimited divine bliss. This is only possible in this very life that we have, and we don't know how much time we have left in this life. So if we have had the opportunity, if we've been blessed with the opportunity to have the association of a divine saint, such as Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Maharaj, we should think about the small window of opportunity we have in this life to take advantage of this opportunity and to make this, our situation, even more clear to us. We're going to get the chance to watch a beautiful Leela prepared by the youth of Radha Madhav Dham and all the devotees from across the continent who have joined us for this 2-week intensive. So now I'll ask you all to please watch this Leela very attentively and take to heart the message and enjoy the devotional grace that will be showered through the Leela and the Maharas dance. Shri Rasheswari Radha Rani Ki Jagadguru Shree Kripalu Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Shri Radhe Jai Jai